Hey comic book fans, today I want to turn some of these into some of these on this episode of the Shredded Edition. Hey comic book fans, welcome back to another great episode of the Shredded Edition. We have so many great books that we're going to take and turn into Shredded Editions for you today. Let's start right off with our first one, and it is Voltron, Defender of the Universe, #1 by Devil Deuce Publishing. It was done in January of 2004. Does an ancient legendary war machine called Voltron really exist? And this copy is about to become a Shredded Edition. Okay, this had some really cool artwork in it, but we're not seeing it in this copy again. You'll have to go find another one because this one becomes our one-of-a-kind Shredded Edition. And there it goes. And we will be putting these up at auction on eBay right after the show, as you know if you've been here before. And if you haven't been here before, welcome. Please do subscribe, hit that notification bell, tell your friends about us, give us a thumbs up, and watch us turn these comic books into Shredded Editions, one-of-a-kind collectibles that you can buy on eBay after the show. 10% of the proceeds go into St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, which is a very good cause. Are you Voltron fans? Do you have any of these Voltron comic books in your collection? Let me know in the comments down below. We have our certificate of authenticity, the actual comic book image. We'll put our seals of authenticity on it, showing that it was done on this episode, episode 5 of the Shredded Edition. If you didn't catch our last episode, it wasn't episode 4. Our last episode was actually a special guest episode which featured 2 other YouTubers, Comic Jabroni and Perry and the Lurkers. There it is, our first one of the day. Set it up right here where you can view it during the show. We'll get ready for our next one. Okay, we're here at the Comics Club with the Comic Pusher, and one of our customers has purchased a Shredded Edition, but he doesn't know what he's going to get because his wife purchased it for him. So we're going to have a look and see what he got.
What is your name, young man?
Eric.
Eric, and you got what here? A gift from...
I got a gift from the comic club that my wife purchased. It's a one-of-a-kind Shredded Edition. I don't know what's in here. We're going to open it and find out.
Okay. Now, Eric is 6'6", so we're gonna pan down to the surface and just look at his hands because he's so tall. Okay, there we go.
All right, let's see what we got. Oh, it's beautifully wrapped.
I thank our lovely assistant for that.
She did a great job. Oh, awesome. Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah,
I love it. That's awesome. I love this storyline of Spider-Man 2099. It's awesome, and it's great to have something that nobody else has got.
That's right. It's as
a collector, that's what I like to do.
That's very cool.
Next up is Batgirl from the September 2000 DC Comics #1. In this episode, Batgirl finds herself in Okinawa, Japan, where she meets an elderly woman with amazing crime fighting skills who had been a crime fighter back in the 40s herself, called Fruit Bat. Sound crazy? Well, maybe not as crazy as some people think Shredded Editions are. And this copy is about to become one. And there she goes, Batgirl into the shredder. Become our next Shredded Edition, which you can find on eBay, up for auction right after the show. We're able to capture some of them in the coffin, as we like to call it, where the remains of the comic book. There's one out in Texas right now, one up in Ohio, one up in Michigan. Where will the next one be? Where will the next Shredded Edition be off to? We also have one that was sent over to England. So our brothers, our comic book brothers in Great Britain, are enjoying Shredded Editions too. Look at that beautiful thing. We get our seals on it. Ooh, look at that one piece. Tried to escape. We won't let it. Our next Shredded Edition. And we'll be right back with another one for you. So here we are with our next one, and it is Superboy #1. This is post-death of Superman. Superboy, this Superboy, which everybody knows as Connor Kent, he finds himself in Hawaii in this first issue from February 1994. That is a 26-year-old comic book we're looking at here. So I love this book, Superboy. The look, his jacket, the way his super shield is, that shield is sewn on the back in yellow, and those red gloves and the crazy glasses he wears. It's time for this copy to become a shredded edition. So here we go. Superboy #1 from the pages of Superman. It's from the reign of tomorrow, where all these Supermen showed up on the scene after Superman died, tried to take up the mantle of Superman. If you want the whole story, you'll have to read it. It's now a shredded edition, one of a kind comic book collectible that when you own it, only you own it. We will never do another one of these Superboy #1s. Ever. If you are a comic book YouTuber, you have your own channel, and you've got yourself up over 1,000 subscribers, and you would be interested in being a guest on the Shredded Edition, please do contact me. Look for more YouTubers to be coming on our show and being special guests on the Shredded Edition. We are talking to several different ones right now about being on the show. And there's Superboy #1, our latest Shredded Edition. And they're lining up quite nicely over there. We'll be right back with another one for you. So comic fans, we put up polls on Facebook and asked people to choose between some different comic books to have become shredded editions on our show. You chose this one in our latest poll. It is The Flash #21. And in this, we have a 4-part crossover with Batman. Storyline's called The Button. And this mysterious button has shown up in the Batcave. They don't know where it comes from, but what we find out is it's tied into Doomsday Clock storyline, which itself grew out of Watchmen. If you haven't read Watchmen, or if you haven't done the Doomsday Clock storyline, it's excellent, a great read. You should go check it out. This was very intriguing, and this one had the cool lenticular cover to it. So all the little pieces in there will be lenticular chunks of this comic book, and there it goes. Ooh, boy, that was very loud. Went through hard. Professor Zoom didn't want to go down so easy. Oh, look at all those shiny lenticular pieces in there. That is awesome. Very cool. I know you guys are going to want to bid on this, which it will be up at auction right after the show, along with some other of our previous shredded editions that are still available to you. We are open to new guests on the show. We'd love to have more guests on the show, and there it is with my certificate of authenticity. And this was the actual cover. It's not lenticular now on here, but all those little lenticular pieces are inside, and you can check them out. And there's another one we're going to add to the stack, and we'll be right back with more. Yeah, we're back, comic fans, and the next one up is The Life of Captain Marvel #1 from September 2018. Marvel Comics. This is the variant cover, one of the variant covers. Marvel Comics gives us just what it's billed as. It's the story of Carol Danvers, just a girl from New England who later is caught in the explosion of an alien device and is transformed into a super being. This issue commemorates her. Great story. Check it out. The Life of Captain Marvel #1 now becomes our latest shredded edition. And there it goes. All right. Well, we caught some of it in there anyway. In the coffin, where this will be forever commemorated as a shredded edition, a one-of-a-kind collectible that you can buy right after the show at auction on eBay. It has a seal of authenticity on them, which we'll get on right now. A photo of the comic book inside and the certificate of authenticity that I have signed, and it tells you the name of the comic, the episode it was created on, of the shredded edition. A wonderful gift item if you have someone in your life who's a comic book fan, who's a fan of Captain Marvel. Great gift for them, and it's a one-of-a-kind, so nobody else but them will own this. And you will have also done something good for charity. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital gets 10% of all of them that are sold on eBay. So there it is, kids. The Life of Captain Marvel becomes our latest Shredded Edition, and we will be right back with more. Hey, comic fans! On the last episode of the Shredded Edition, which was not number 4, it was actually, not number 4, but it wasn't the last issue. Last episode, it was the previous one to that, because the last episode was our special guest episode. But in that episode, I gave you 3 comic books to choose which one you would like to see become a Shredded Edition, and the votes all, or mostly, went to Clive Barker's Pinhead, this horror story from the Hellraiser's world. Looks like the Pinhead is in agony on the cover there. This comic's from 1993. It's a 27-year-old comic book. Well, Pinhead already looks like he's had a lot of pain, but we're going to put him through a little bit more pain by putting him through the Shredder. And it's got this wonderful shiny cover too, which make for really great Shredded editions. And it's embossed. You probably can't see that there, but it's embossed. Some amazing artwork of Pinhead on the inside cover. See that? This guy's going to regret his decision to mess with that box, which I won't tell you how he got it. You'll have to find out yourself. But Pinhead is in agony going into the Shredder, becoming a Shredded edition. It's for a good cause, Pinhead. For once, hell brings us a good cause, because 10% of the proceeds go to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, and this Pinhead will be up at auction on eBay immediately after the show. Oh, look at all those wonderful, shiny red pieces. That is beautiful. I think that lenticular one was our first lenticular one. We've done a glow-in-the-dark. The Ghost Rider, I believe it was Ghost Rider number 15, was a glow-in-the-dark one. We've done quite a few of these foil ones, and the reason why is because they look so great in the box. All the shiny foil pieces. So yeah, look at that. That's filled up real well. That's a beautiful one. All the other little pieces in there. That really looks nice. All those nice red shiny pieces inside there. Look at that. That's a beautiful one. And Pinhead in his coffin, in agony. Pinhead number 1. Clive Barker could tell a gruesome tale. And this says it's the first pain-packed issue. He'll be forever screaming out at us. You can almost hear him in agony. And Pinhead becomes our latest Shredded edition, and we'll be right back with some more for you. And we're back, comic fans. In every episode of the Shredded Editions, we give you, the viewer, a chance to decide between 3 comic books that we present to you, which one you would like to see become a Shredded edition. And this time around, we have for you number 1 from Chaos Comics, The Rock. Everybody knows who The Rock is. Dwayne there, the same first name as me, although we spell it differently. Pretty certain. I'm not certain. How does Dwayne spell his name? If you know, tell me down below. Mine is spelled D-U-A-N-E, the old Irish way. The next one up we have is G.I. Joe Special Missions number 1. Any G.I. Joe fans out there? That'll make a great Shredded edition for us. And finally, number 393, the 30th anniversary issue in very shiny green foil, Incredible Hulk. These are the 3 for you to choose from. Give us your comments down below. Tell us which one you would like to see become a Shredded edition and why. And we will take all of your choices into consideration. And whichever one gets the most will become our next Shredded edition. We have a couple more for you, so stick around. And we're back, comic book fans, and this next one we have for you is a very special one. It is a recent comic book, just in the past couple of years, but I'll tell you what, I'll tell you right up front, it's an Avengers comic book, but the story isn't about Avengers. This is Avengers 684, and it's all about the Immortal Hulk. This story introduces to us a Hulk that cannot die, the Immortal Hulk. Bruce has had a hard time in his life. All he wanted to do was die. He gave Hawkeye a couple special arrows to use to kill him if he ever turned into the Hulk again. And Hawkeye did use it, and he put him down. Unfortunately, it didn't stick. I won't tell you the whole story or how it happened. You'll have to go read for yourself, but this was an amazing story, and it launched a series called The Immortal Hulk, and it's just been an incredible run. A great story. If you haven't read The Immortal Hulk, you really need to do it. This issue will become our next Shredded edition, and that's going to be a great one to own. And there he goes, Hulk finally going into the coffin. I think we can get, wow, that is going to be a full one. You know, we like the full ones because they look so nice, packed full of the pieces of shreds of the comic book. If you're a Hulk fan, the Incredible Hulk run, if you'd like to have a one-of-a-kind collectible that nobody else but you owns, this is the comic book for you, the comic book collectible for you. One of a kind, only one person will ever own one of our shredded editions of this one because we will only ever do one. There's our certificate of authenticity, photo of the actual comic book that's inside of there, and now we'll put our seals on it. It's Avengers 684, which brings us the incredible Immortal Hulk. I gotta tell you, if you're a Hulk fan, you just can't pass this up. I mean, look at that. That one is packed to the brim, filled with the Immortal Hulk, Avengers 684. That's a legacy number. And there we go. And I'll be right back with one more for you. Okay, comic fans, we're back and we have one more for you, and this one's really special. This one is from Marvel Comics from 1990, I think it's 1991. This is a 29-year-old comic book. This is the comic book that introduced us to Bishop. It is Uncanny XMen number 293. In this comic book, we're introduced to Bishop, as I say, and he's from Xavier's School Enforcers, which is from the future, but he gets stuck. He has no problem taking down the Gold X-Men team, but he can't stop it from becoming a shredded edition. And there it goes. First time we get a full view of Bishop. If you're a X-Men fan, if you're a Bishop fan, this is the shredded edition for you. Uncanny XMen number 283, where we meet Bishop and his Xavier's School Enforcers. And that's a nice full one too. Vintage 1991 comic book paper. Great stuff. But you know, kids, you can't smell digital for all it's worth. Actual print comics are the way to go. Because look at the things you can do with them. Make paper airplanes out of them, cover lamps with them, make collages out of them, line your birdcage with them, make them into shredded editions. These are available immediately after the show on eBay at auction, and 10% of the proceeds go to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Please give us a thumbs up. Share us on your social media. And remember, read. It brings out the hero in you. We'll see you next time.